Okay, book. Looks like we're online. All right, so let me get the right scene here, and we are at 6:58. So if you're watching the replay, it's going to be 2 minutes, right? So fast forward 2 minutes. Is basically I'm stalling right now. Let's see. Tonight we are going to be doing a lot of stuff, so I'm not going to talk very much tonight, and we're just going to play like the Dickens. So first of all, let me tell you what we're doing. Let me pull up the other page here. Uh, Book one, Brother John. We went over that a couple of weeks back, and so tonight we're going to play through it and then move on from it. Book one, Three Blind Mice. We're going to add that in. Several kind of interesting things to talk about on Three Blind Mice. Most importantly, this is where your life in tough acts or fingerstyle or chord melody begins. And so here we are, lesson number 2, and you're already playing fingerstyle. Then after that, and we'll get you started. Then book 2, A-Tisket, A-Tasket. I know you're dying to get your hands on it and play it. You've probably been studying it so hard this last week. And then after that, we'll take a look at Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo. I haven't updated that sheet music since forever because it's fine, but it's the only piece of sheet music on tonight's that wasn't updated within the last month. Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo. There's moments in that song that are great, and then it's got 50 verses of which they are shockingly stupid. And so we won't do all 50 verses. Book 3 will replay Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman, more popularly known as Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, a surprisingly hard song. And then book 3 will also look at All Through the Night, which coincidentally I also include in book 1 as the stretch piece for book 1. And I went through it all this week and just kind of cleaned it up, and it's real nice. The 2 classical things we'll look at is the Etudes 1 through 18. We're not going to play all of those. And then Sagreras. I started a new thing called the Endless Sagreras Etude, and what I'm going to do is just combine all 7 books of his into one enormous long song. The problem with it is one of the great instructional books ever written, but the problem is all of the songs in there are like 5-10 seconds. Not 5-10. 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds long, and so they hardly, when you play them all individually, you're like, am I getting anywhere? But when you run them all together, there's this non-stop song. It's actually kind of cool, and so that's what we'll be doing with that. Now let's pull up my guitar. I'm supposed to move that. I don't have a ton of room in this space that I work in. Kind of on purpose. I want the sound to not be bouncing all around. Vic is in and she says the sound is good. So if Vic says the sound is good, then the sound is good. What she says goes. Also, I'm not doing a great job of getting word out about these video sessions, which is fine for the moment because I'm still getting everything set up. So if you are watching this, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And let your friends know. I'm going to have all of the instructional material from Denver Guitar Orchestra website moved over to the Guitar Orchestra Network site. Over the next month, I managed to acquire guitarorchestra.com, which has taken me many years to actually get it into my hot little hands. But the registrar that it is at will not let me change it to where it needs to be until March 9th. And they're making sure no shenanigans is going on with it. I hope there's no shenanigans going on with it. And then after March 9th, guitarorchestra.com will be fully functional. In addition to guitarorchestra.net, will just be they'll be the same site. And then so some things are happening that will make it, all of this easier and faster and better. And then I think that's all I need to say. So tonight I'm going to have to pull up our playlist over on, I'm going to do this so that I can not have to keep flipping all around. I'm going to move it over here. Oh, how nice. I'm using this million-year-old computer. Well, it's not that old of a computer. It's just completely way underpowered for anything I needed to do. But it's actually perfect for this little broadcast. And it's got kind of a big screen, so I can put the stuff over there and over here and all this stuff, and so we can see me and all that. So Linda is here. Snow up in Vancouver. We had, and don't get mad, it was 70 degrees here today, sunny all day. The birds are going wild. I walked my dog. She's a bazillion years old. I walk her down the street and then over to the park and back. We used to walk her farther, but her legs started getting a little gimpy, and so we thought, let's minimize the distance and emphasize how we're really out just to sniff things and go home. Today she was actually hot. You could see she's panting on her way back, so it was kind of cute. All right, let's play some music. First of all, grab your Brother John. You should be playing from the January 17th, 2025 edition. We went over this in great detail a couple weeks back, and so I'm going to remind you from the olden days. The only difference is I used to have your fingering a little different here. Try to get your middle finger, when you go down to 7, put your middle finger on 7, then pinky, back to middle finger, and then slide your middle finger to get the next note. Because no matter which finger you put here, you're going to have to do some type of slide. Okay, so that's the big modern way to do it now. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again. How about that? That may be the first time I've ever played and didn't make any mistakes. I'm feeling very good. That was the end of the broadcast. See y'all later. All right, so the big learning opportunities here is how to read sheet music, right? How to read a tempo marking. Quarter note equals 80. I have no idea what speed we just played that at, but it was probably not 80. But that tells the computer how fast to play it. Time signature, the 4/4, a big deal, right? You guys got to know that. Getting your fingering on your left hand correct. We only played with our thumb today, so it's just P. How to read tablature. That's the only thing that really matters on this, is how do you read that tablature. And then the value of the notes, quarter notes, half notes, and eighth notes. And then how to make an E chord, right? Okay. My guitar isn't in tune. So, weather changing, basically no matter what you do, it's out of tune. Plus it needs strings. All right, let's take a look at Three Blind Mice. Now, Three Blind Mice, when you look at the sheet music, there's a lot more stuff going on, right? But there's really only two meaningful, important things I want you to learn here. One is your rest stroke of your thumb going down. We'll talk about that when we get to the tough axe line. And then the tough axe line, right? So what we have to learn here isn't that much more. It's a lot less to learn on this page than there was on Frere Shaka. So on Three Blind Mice, the one thing that's kind of a bummer is the G chord. And when you first get started on guitar, you're like, that seems stupid. But that's the way it is. So let's talk about G chord. Index finger here, middle finger here, ring finger there. Okay, read your chord grid. Index finger, 5th string, 2nd fret. Middle finger, 6th string, 3rd fret. And ring finger, 1st string, 3rd fret. Come on, brain. Really beautiful sounding chord on guitar. Now, I will point out on banjo, it's 5 strings and they're all open. There's no, you just strum it. Okay, guitar, you have to do this nonsense here. Okay, if you play ukulele, you know C chord, right? This just adds these two fingers way up here on the top and turns it into a G chord. Now, we're used to singing this song really fast through the middle. I want to sing it because I want you to get the sense of how it goes. Okay, so from the top, 1, 2, ready, play. 3 blind mice, 3 blind mice. See how they run. I can't sing. See how they run. They all went after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Okay. So everything gets 4 strums except for measure 12, and that just, you're done with the song, so 3 is fine. And then make sure to let the last chord ring, as always. Okay. Now, the next thing we want to talk about with 3 Blind Mice is the melody. Okay, on Frere Jacques, Brother John, you learn to play the melody going all the way up the neck and all the way back, but we only had to use 1 string. Now we're going to keep the melody in these first 3 frets, 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to use these 3 fingers for the most part. We might bring in the pinky a little bit, and but we're going to use more than 1 string. Okay, so and Brother John, we use 2 strings at the very end. This time we're going to use up to strings 4, 3, 2, and 1. Right? Do we even use the 4th string? I'm not even sure if we do. We don't. Okay, we'll just use the first 3 strings. Okay, now when we're playing melody for now, just use your thumb because we're going to then turn it into a finger style thing. Okay, so first note's a 0 on the 2nd string, and then a 2 on the 3rd string, and then an open on the 3rd string. Okay, and then we would practice that if we were in class together. We'd practice that 10,000 times, but we'll practice it one more time. O, 2, O. Now then, in measure 3, everything's on the 2nd string. 3, 1, 1, O, and again 3, 1, 1, O. Okay, at the end of measure 4, we have to add another 3 back in. Okay, that's your pickup to the rest of the song. With them, right? You can hear like something's about to happen. They. Okay. Oh, and I'm missing that in the sheet music. I need to. The they would disappear. They. I'll add that in. All right. And then now in the next line, measure 5, you're going to be on the third fret of the 1st strings. 3, 3, 2, O, 2, 3, 3, 3. Notice how I just switched from that 3 to this 3. Just my ring finger bunny hops. Okay, then in measure 7, 3, 3, 3, 2, O, 2, 3, bunny hop, 3, 3, 2 more 3s, 3, 3, bunny hop back, 3, 3, 2, O, 2, 3, bunny hop, 3, 3, and then a 1, O, and then a 2 on the 3rd string, and an open. And what's this 15 at the end? Go down and find your 15. Okay, mine's way down here. Probably use your pinky to hold it down. Okay, that's the big finish. Okay? That's the show business part of 3 Blind Mice. Okay, so you gotta, and so what I would do is find 12. That's the easier one to find. There's usually either a dot or some scrolling or something on it, and then go down 3 more, and that's 15, 1st string. That's how we're gonna finish. Okay, so with me, let's play the whole thing from the top, nice and slow. 1, 2, ready, play. Notice I counted it to myself out loud to you guys 2, 3, 4 in measure 12, because otherwise I'm going to come in too early. So I always try to count the long notes in my head with with my tap, rocking my body, doing something so that I don't come in early. So I come in exactly at the right spot to play. Anytime there's a long note, I'm counting. All right, so that's the melody. That's a job 1 this week, and then job 2 is to take a look at tough acts. Now, you're going to play the melody exactly the same on that line. Everything's going to be exactly the same over here. The only difference is your thumb is going to come down over the strings it says. So in the first one, it says 0, 0, 0 on strings 4, 3, and 2. So I'm just going to go, and then the string I'm not going to play that first string. My thumb's going to rest on it. Okay? Then I got 0, 2. I'm going to bring this thumb down over the 2 strings it says, 0 and 2. Okay, and my thumb is now resting on the second string. I'm not going to play it, so I want my thumb to rest on it like it's on a hammock. Okay, and then 0, 0. Okay, and then I got this 3. This is purely decorative. Thumb down, go grab that 3. I happen to use my pinky over here. You'd be fine if you want to use your ring. Either one. Okay, so what I'm ending up with, now listen, this is what we just played. Let's do the same exact thing in measure 2. Ready, play. Okay. The little bing in there is just to get you used to playing decorative notes that are not part of the main melody. Okay, now I have 0, 0, 3, so I'm going to play those 3 strings. Make sure your 3 is down, okay? And then 2 1s by themselves. And then 0, 0, 0. Another decorative note here. Okay, pinky back up on that second string. Opens. And then this 3 isn't decorative. This is part of the song. They, you wouldn't know it because for some reason the lyric is missing, but that is they. Okay, bunny hop down to the first 3. And now you're going to play 4 strings all the way down. 3, 2, 0, 2. Grab that 3 again. Bunny hop, and then play 3 strings. Make sure your thumb rests on the first string. Okay, and then measure 7, all 4 strings. Go to the 2 with your middle finger, strum 4 strings. And then a cool chord, O2. Grab the 3. And then bunny hop to the other 3. 2 more 3s. From the top. I'm sorry, from the top string. Go 0, 0, 0, 2. 0, 0, 0, 3. Bunny hop. Grab the 1. All zeros here, 3 strings of 0. Hit this decorative note. 0, 2, decorative note, and then this decorative, 3, and then slide up. When you hit that 3, that last little 3, so if I am on measure 12, dum, 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 then slide it all the way up to 15, okay, and get that. So then you get this sound. Okay, and you can use any finger you want in there. Okay, but don't go exactly the speed you need. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so try to time it perfectly. All right, let me play it for you real quick so you know what you're doing this week. See if I can get it right. That's what you're going for, ish, right? That is pretty close. Yeah. I think measure 11 almost ate my lunch a little bit. I was like, uh-oh, I got these decorative notes. I don't remember which strings I put them on. That's part of the new arrangement. All right, so work on that this week for book 1. All right, let's move on to book 2. Last week we played A-Tisket, A-Tasket. So let's go get that out. This is surprisingly hard to play. No, actually, there's only one thing that's hard, right? Getting your E7 on with your pinky. Yeah, okay. We're going to play it straight through. We're going to do the repeat. So go down to measure 9, go back, play down the second time. Don't play measure 9 the second time. And then remember you have this big A chord at the end. Okay, that's how I'm going to play. All right. I'm going to play tough acts. If you're not comfortable with that, you play melody. If you're not comfortable with that, you play the chords. Okay? From the top. And by the way, when you get together with friends, that's exactly how you do it. Some people play melody, some people play chords. The show-offs play tough acts, but they're usually doing it solo, right? So get a friend, you play melody, they play chords. Everybody's happy. Put your chord on. Here we go. 3-beat count in. 1, 2, 3. I know it's a stupid song. I'm aware of that. But here's what's really important about that. You're going to do that every single time you play fingerstyle guitar for the rest of your life. You're going to play these A chord, and you're going to play an E7, and your pinky's going to be dancing around doing all kinds of nonsense to go along with that. And so while there's nothing like, this isn't the song you wanted to play when you bought a guitar. This is the song that teaches you how to play the other songs, right? And so it keeps it all nice and neat and orderly. Remember to practice singing, even if you hate singing. A-Tasket, A-Tasket, a green and yellow basket we wrote. Right? And so that's where personality matters. You know, when you go see these, when you go to the concert and they have a guitar in their hand, remember, it's about 99% singer's personality and about 0% guitar, right? They have a guitar, they're making some racket on it, but that's not really, they're not working that hard on the guitar. You're working way harder than that on playing tough acts by yourself without singing. And so you want, it's not, people who have played guitar for a long, long time, they are always people who love to sing. And so you should get where you don't hate it. How about that? All right. I don't have anything else to say about A-Tisket, A-Tasket. Let's take a look at the job for the week. Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo. Oh, I put that in the wrong book. Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo. I didn't get the right. I did the wrong thing here. Hold on. I thought I had it in the right spot. I do not. Let me go grab it from here. Ain't Gonna Rain No More. Oh, I didn't update this one. I didn't update this one because it's fine. I played through it. I'm like, yes, that's good enough. So I mean, I'll make the repeats box a little smaller, but other than that, I don't really see any reason to update this very much. I will get you an updated one for next week, but it will be the exact same thing. So, with Ain't Gonna Rain No More, right, you're going to work on D chord, going to A7. Now, I mean, how much easier in life are they going to make it for you? Okay, everything in guitar is hard except this one. If you can play D, you can play an A7, and you can play D, oh, and sing with me, or strum with me. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more, no more. ain't gonna rain no more. So how in the heck can I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? Well, a peanut sat on a railroad track. His heart was all a-flutter when along came a train roaring down the track. Toot toot peanut butter. Okay, goofed up a chord. I actually turned on my little page turner foot pedal thing, and I'm very excited about using it. But I was so busy thinking about using it that I didn't think about the chord. Now, so that's about the easiest chord pair that they make. Playing D chord is kind of hard, and then once you get D chord down, then switch in the other one. In a measure 7, I'm going to fix this. When you play the tough act, you actually use an A chord, but when you sing it, you use an A7. And so I'm going to put it back to A7, and then the tough acts, people can figure it out as they go along. Okay. Melody, take time. If you're new, even if you're in book 1, you can play this melody, right? You should just use the normal fingers. Okay, and so it's 0s, 2s, and 3s. I don't think there's a single 1 anywhere in there. So it's just these 2 fingers in 2 and 3. See how fast you can play it. Okay, then let's run through the tough acts really quickly. Shouldn't take but a minute, and then you work on it this week. Start with your start with your D chord, of course, because we always start with the D chord. But then notice right away the pickup note has a wrong note in it. So you're going to have to slide your middle finger back here. This is a very normal thing to do. It seems like cheating, like it feels like you should rearrange your whole hand. Don't do that. Just pull the ring finger back, okay? And now slide it forward. I haven't moved anything here except for that one little note in the beginning, and I'm just strumming straight down over the correct strings. Keep going. Now I got to move that ring finger back again, and then back up, and then I'm going to switch to the A7 chord and lose my ring finger. Okay, count that. It's 3 beats. Now I'm going to either add my pinky on here or my ring finger. I'm probably going to add my pinky finger on here. I'm not going to change anything on the fingering here. I'm just going to add my pinky so that I can get this 7th sound. Now I'm taking my pinky back off. Rest stroke on the first string. Now I have the problem, right? There's some 2s there. Now what I'm going to do is bring my middle finger up, and now I've got these other 2s I can get to. And then I can strum this next little group. And now I've got another 2 coming up at the bottom of that stack under no. So I'm just going to put my ring finger there. It's been hanging out doing nothing for a little while. Okay. No. And then go back to your D chord. Or a couple of decorative notes. And then we basically repeat the same idea. Pull your ring finger back, pull it forward. Pull it back, pull it forward, A7. Pinky finger to get the 3. Move your middle finger up. Change the page. Add your ring finger. Okay. Couple of thoughts on this. You want to read the lyrics before diving in here, because sometimes you're going to add a note on or take a note off depending on how the lyrics flow. That's very common in folk music, where we have the main idea, but the lyrics may or may not be exactly what it says there. So a lot of times you'll add in an extra note or take a note out as you're going along. And as a fingerstyle player, you have to account for that. As a singer, you don't. Or if you're just strum along behind a singer, you don't care about that. You just sing the extra notes. But when you're a fingerstyle player, you do have to pay attention to that. So read the lyrics and make sure what you're playing kind of more or less matches. Typically, like at measure 12, its heart was all a flutter. And all I have is its heart was all a flutter. Okay, and that's because of the next line, it says, it ate up old tin cans. So you have to know, oh, the lyric says flutter. I'm going to add in an extra 0 in there to take care of the ter at the end of flut. All right, it sounds a little dicey to say that. All right, A chord all the time. This is what Vic is playing all songs, right? Let's see. Sweet child of mine, right? That's A chord's the best chord. D chord's pretty good, right? E chord, I love E chord. I think it's great because its best friend E minor is the best chord, but they have lots of chords that go with it are less fun. All right, there's Ain't Gonna Rain No More. Go work on that one this week. By the way, if you want a lesson in how things used to be, and thank God they're not that way anymore, go look up the other 50 verses. You're not gonna believe the kind of nasty, crummy stuff that Wendell Hall was busy writing about. You're like, Wendell, what is wrong with you? Seriously, stop after 3 good verses. Don't write 47 racist, sexist verses. It's stupid. All right, let's take a look at book 3. What time is it? It's already half hour in. All right, so book 3 is we're going to talk about, come on, book 3, Vous, Dirai-Je, Maman. I'm going to play Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. Now, there's a repeat here. You're supposed to play it twice. We don't need to do that, right? Let's play it once. Let's play it really good and nice and slow. Let all of the notes ring out. Give Gary a chance to get it kind of right. And then let's see what we end up with. Okay, nice and slow, really slow. This quarter note is 80, right? It's supposed to be slow. Wom, bom. We'll probably play about 60. Okay, 1, 2, ready, play. C chord. Back to your G chord. Decorative note. Measure 11, please. Sorry. To the end. Okay. I don't know. My brain went to, oh, you're playing it pretty well, and that's what Gary does. Get to about the next to last measure, and that's when you blow it. Okay. So I noticed that throughout the entire thing I'm using this G, middle, ring, and pinky. But at the last chord requires you to do index, middle, ring, and pinky this way. Okay, so just be aware of that. I just made myself a note, regular G, and then I call this the alternate G because I don't like doing it as much, but I know for finger style, it's very helpful because this leaves your index finger open because a lot of times you're going to be playing this note right there. What note is that? It's an A. It's going to come up a lot, and that's why I'm more and more and more going with this G chord. Okay, you do you, but this song you can totally get away with playing it in the regular G. But just be thinking about middle, ring, and pinky And that works for every single thing in this song except for that last chord, which requires you to do the fancy G, I call it. Okay. All right. You got the idea. Make sure you've practiced the chords and sang the song. You want to be able to not have to think a lot. Those are very, very standard chords. Give them to Jimmy Buffett. He would turn them into $500,000 easy. So make sure you know these 3 chords are coming up in your life. C chord is my nemesis. For whatever reason, I can't do it. I don't know. It just will not get into my fingers. And this is a lot of years I've been working on it. So just know that I hate C chord as much as you're going to hate F chord when we get to it. Okay. That's lovely, isn't it? Let's take a look very quickly at All Through the Night. I did do an updated sheet, if you have the old one, on the website, January 21st, 2025. In fact, I made a change to it today. So it should say February 2nd, but January 25th is close enough. The one that you want to have, you'll know if you have the right one if it's in color, right? So if you've got blue notes and some red writing in there. And then the other way you'll know is if you go to measure 16, there's just a regular repeat that I wrote on the top, 2 number 1 twice. I decided that the measure 16 was really nice and should be played that way the 3rd time through as well. And then we put on this fancy D chord at the end. Okay, so if you downloaded it last week, some other time, go download the one that I just posted tonight. It also says January 21st, and I try to always change the date when I make substantial changes, but I forgot tonight because I was in a hurry. All right, All Through the Night. The cool part about it, the reason I love this song is it's all of the chords you learned in book 1. Okay, so I want to sing them real quick. Make sure that D, A, G, and E are in your wheelhouse. Okay, and again, I can't sing, so you guys know that, so just put up with it. So I want people to pluck the verses, and I want them to strum the middle 8, I guess you'd call it, middle 4. I don't know what it is. Okay, so start with your D chord. Let's strum. 1, 2, ready, go. Sleep, my child, and I should be plucking. I just said pluck them, and then I strum. 1, 2, ready, go. Sleep, my child, and peace attend thee all through the night. 2, 3, 4. Guardian angels, God will send thee all through the night. 2, 3, 4. Strum. Doth the drowsy hours are creeping hill and vale in slumbers sleeping. I don't know what any of those words mean. In my loving vigil keeping all through the night. Okay. Well, keep your chord on. Let the guitar tell you when it's tired of making that chord, and wiggle your fingers around just a little bit to get some vibrato. Make sure you can do those chords. The melody is simple. Okay, it's all in for second or third position until you get to measure 9, and then it's all zeros up above it anyway. So it's just right. So you slide up and down a little bit. Okay. Talk very quickly about the tough acts. Okay. You can play this entire thing with your thumb, but I don't want you. Okay, I want you to use the claw pluck in the beginning here. So get your D chord on. Let's just claw pluck it. Go. Dum. Pull your ring finger back. And then to everybody, ah. Back onto the D chord. Make a full E chord here. Add your pinky. Get those middle 4 strings. Go grab the A chord, the Vic chord. Then you're going to use your middle finger to get that 2. Okay. Go full G chord? Probably. You don't necessarily have to do it here, but make sure you at least got to get your ring finger or your middle finger up on the 6th string. A chord, ring finger, and then back to D chord. So importantly, there at measure 7, right, we add in a little bit of decoration. G chord, index, middle, A chord, index, middle, ring, D chord, index, thumb. Okay, and be thinking about, because there are arpeggiated chords, right, we don't usually do our, what we're studying a little bit tonight is the rest strokes coming up, but you could just to get a different flavor for it. Louder, right? Okay. Then over at measure 9, simple drown strums, right? Now, guitar-y wise, I like to. A lot of times we'll just use a single finger on this. You just hear those slides in there. It kind of makes it fancier. And then measure 11. This D chord is hard and fast to get to. Okay, you really want a rest stroke, man. You really want your thumb to hit that pretty hard. And then real slow. Okay, make that as much show business as you can, as much time getting from that last D to that A, and let it ring for just a minute, and then go back to your plucking. Go. And that would be a quarter note there, right? So in other words, I'm not playing it incorrectly. It's hard to see just from the tablature. That 0 is ringing, you run up and grab your D chord. Okay, if you hit the 5th string, it's fine, but I'd rather you not. Okay, it's up to you. It gives you that deep, but it's an A instead of a D, so it's not a perfect chord. There, that's really lovely. I love that song so much. All right, there you go. There's All Through the Night. Okay, now let's jump over to the classical. I'm going to give you a little bit of a conversation here because I finally figured it out. Okay, finally figured it out. We're only going to play, so with Sagreras' Études, I updated the sheet music this week, and I'm going to update it this beginning one. I'm going to try to get all 45 Études in and done so that you have them. This is your warm-up. This is not something you study. This is something to get you when you sit down and you decide, hey, I'm going to play some classical guitar, and I'm going to be very official about it. This is something that you should be using as your warm-up, and I'm going to try to get 1 through 45 done as quickly as possible. They're super boring. They're not interesting music at all, but they're designed to get your fingers warmed up, okay? And they're pretty good at that, actually. And they're designed to teach you to do rest strokes. When I watch the really top-level guitarists, they do this quite a bit, right? When I watch most college guitarists, they rarely do that. And I think part of the reason is that they're going for speed, right? And not necessarily the subtlety of the tone. And so when I think you want to learn both. Okay, because someday you're going to be a professional and you're going to be traveling the world and being on the stages across Berlin. And the Berlin people, they know about rest stroke versus free stroke, and so you want to be able to have both of them in hand. But I think that these are super valuable in terms of a thing that I almost never did and probably should have done. So let's play just a few. Let's go down to this. Let's start on page 5. Let's go on to page, I'm sorry, Etude number 5. We'll just start there. We'll go slow for a ways. If you use the MP3, it will keep you on task, so you can knock these out in quick order. I'm going to put up the MP3 at a slow pace, a medium pace, and a fast pace, and that way you can get through these as your warm-up in a rational amount of time. Right now, I think we're up to 7 minutes already, and then we haven't only done 4 pages of them. Start on number 5. Let's play that. Let's play this page 2 here, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, because I'm really excited about the other thing I want to talk about tonight. Okay, remember, I am throughout the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 3, 2, 3, go. 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 2, 3, 4, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, oh, 2, 3, oh, 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 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, where am I on? Let's start back at number 7. Didn't hit a note right yet. Measure 7, I'm sorry, Etude 7, 1, 2, ready, play. 3, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 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 3, oh, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, oh, 3, 2, 3, go on. 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 3, 2, oh, 2, 3, 2, oh, 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 3, 2, 3, 4, oh, 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 2, oh, 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 3, oh, 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 2, oh, 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 2, oh, 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 3, oh, 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 3. All right, so I did a pretty bad job there, but you see what you got to do. You got to keep going, no matter what you're actually playing, and you got to try to find your notes. I blew it pretty good today, so I'll be working on that some more, so I don't blow it next week. But we'll probably just pick a page each week and just go through them. I think they're really good for you. One, to just get your feeling over here, because I obviously didn't have it tonight, and then really be disciplined with index, middle, index, middle, index, middle, index, middle. The etudes are a real workout, is what Vic just said. I think so too, and a good workout. Like, these are boring. Nobody wants to play this kind of stuff. But if you sit down with the MP3, say, all right, Gary says to start my day off with these things, and you just play through them, one, you're going to get faster and better, and your tone will improve, and all that stuff, right? They're way better than scales, and I think. We'll be talking about these quite a bit. So I'm going to try to get 1 through 45 done as quickly as possible. Now, I want to talk about the Sagreras-ish endless etude. So there's 7 books of Sagreras, and it's all instructional, right? But by the time you get to book 2, you're playing really legit music, and it's all beautiful. I've listened to the full recordings of all 7 books now, and I don't think there's a turkey in there, honestly. And they're all designed with a guitarist mindset about guitars, what's easy to play, what's going to sound good. And so what we're going to do is each week I'm going to be adding on to this endless etude. And so we're starting at number 46, which is this first one that actually sounds like a song. And then they all sound fine after that. The problem with these etudes is they're 8 measures long, 12 measures long. They take 12 seconds to play, and then you're like, oh, well, that was lovely. And then you go, I don't know, drink coffee or whatever. But what I want to do is at the end of each etude, I'm going to pick some notes that you play with your thumb so that you then go immediately into the next etude, and it'll be like one never-ending song. And what I think will end up happening is that when you get reasonably competent at these, I'll bet you could sit down and play for somebody for an hour just from the endless etude. They'll be just absolutely delighted that how good you are and how beautiful the music is and blah blah blah. And you're just playing, this song that just goes on. And then you'll get done after an hour, and they'll be like, "What was that?" And you say whatever you want, right? Oh, that was Beethoven's. He only wrote one guitar piece. It was his massive opus to Elise, right? And so you can say whatever it is, or you could just say, oh, it's Sagreras, or tell them it's 7 different composers. Who knows? Who cares? What I want to do is just do at least 1 or 2 pages of this. What time is it? 7:48. We got to wrap it up. But two thoughts on this. One, you know how to play the tablature. It's going to be a lot of either thumb pluck, or it's going to be a lot of arpeggios. Okay, that's classical music in a nutshell. Those 2 things, and then just making sure your fingers are on the right strings over here. It doesn't start off complicated. Now, I did add on guitar chords, and I'm doing it on every measure. 1, because you know that I love doing that, but 2, this means you can play this duets with people. So in other words, if I'm playing measure 1 of number 46, okay, beautiful, right? Who doesn't love that? So your friend, whoever that is, could be playing an A minor chord, something like that, right? If it's minor, they want to play sad. If it's in major, they do something a little fancier. But this gives you a chance to hand this. You're going to play the tab. You're going to play the standard notation, and your friend's going to play the chords, because most guitar players you meet, that's all they know. So give them the chords. They'll be delighted. They'll be like, "Ooh, this is kind of fun," and then you can play together, right? And those of you with a ukulele in your background, you know these are guitar chords, but you also know how to make an A minor and an E7 on a ukulele or a baritone, and that could be your accompaniment person, right? And so that would be very cool. And if you put those 2 things together, you got a lot of music that's not hard at all to play. And I think that this is going to be a fun thing to work on. And I'm just so delighted with his music. And I'm really sad that we don't get to hear it played more, because it's beautiful. So let's start at measure 40, Etude 46. Let's play at least through the first page and see what we got going and see how we get it. Okay, from the top, 1, 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. note takes you on to the next page. So you'll see, and if you have the color version in front of you, you can read this pretty straightforward. The melody, the main melody is going to be in blue. I'm sorry, in black. The bass line is going to be in blue, and so you're going to be pretty able to keep an eye on where your thumb's supposed to be reading the tab. And if you are a standard note reader, it's the same as all sheet music. They in classical music, it's sort of a tradition that your thumb plays a note, and then these three fingers play everything else for the most part, right? Lots of exceptions, but and certainly the more complicated music, not so much. But that way the music's sort of set up where you can play through that. Like, didn't that sound real? Like, that's like, ooh, this guy knows what he's doing, right? He doesn't, but it sounds like you do. And then when you turn the page after, so if you're the blue notes there at the end, and I write on there much slower, bum, 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 and then you get a little bit of a bass line up. So now page 2, if you look at, there's pink notes on there, and that means that there's a middle voice. Okay, so the blue is going to be your bass note, your thumb. The melody's still in black. In this case, the melody is really boring. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 3, 3, 3, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1. Right, that's your melody. But inside there, the pink is going to be this inner voice, and it happens a lot in classical music. The more advanced we get, we'll end up doing lots of pink. And then there are plenty of times down the road when we're going to add in a fourth voice, which is going to be green. Usually that's some sort of decorative weirdo thing that's going on, right? So now let's take a look just really quick at page 2, and it's all just number 48 in his book, right? But it's interesting. This is quite a bit harder than what precedes it, and so you kind of, that's why much slower makes a lot of sense, okay? So you put your C chord on and just go 3, 0, 1, 0, 0, C chord. A7. D minor. Two leads you into the next page, right? Boom, and then whatever happens there. So if you will, please, this week as you are goofing around with your guitar, start on the front of this and just play until you get sick of it, right? I want you to pay particular attention to the transitions I'm adding between songs. Sometimes they're easier than others. A couple of them are bum, 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 right? Like you would expect in a lot of classical music. Or if you're playing rock and roll, it's blah, 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 blah. And then it'll come out this kind of this cool bass line thing. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. And so sometimes you have to just do bump, bump, bump and move on to the next thing. So pay attention to those and let me know. If you can come up with, if you see what's there and you hate what's written there, let's talk about it. I'm happy to make some adjustments so that you're happy. But the idea again here is to give you not challenging guitar material at a classical level, which is pretty hard to find. All of it's hard. But this is not terribly difficult. And then to give you enough of a song that you actually feels like you're playing a piece of music rather than etude, etude, etude. 10-second song, 15-second song, 20-second song. That sort of stuff drives me bonkers. I don't know. I just hate it. Because you work so hard on 15 seconds worth of music and you're just like, what am I doing with my life? This gives you a chance to work on stuff that's a little easy, right? And then but then it combines it and you'll have some sad moments and some happy moments, and it'll feel like a real piece of music. Very briefly, page 3, you'll look at Opus Etude number 49. You'll see triplets showing up. Again, don't think of those as triplets necessarily. Just play them like you play everything else. It's just an arpeggio. It looks really a mess in the standard notation, which is very typical in guitar. Look how clean the tablature is, and look at what a mess the standard notation is. But that's it, right? And if you're really trying to get that triplet feeling, you're going to be 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, okay? And so be thinking about if that's where your head is musically, that's kind of what he's meaning to here. But those triplets, you can just treat them as all eighth notes, and you'll be just fine as well. And in that etude, then you start sliding up to second position with that pinky on 5. Remember how we did that tonight? Right, that chord, that's this chord simplified is all that is, right? And so there it is, it's showing up again. Yeah, so, and I'm going to be adding to this. My hope is to finish this before I die, and to have all 7 books be one continuous etude. And then if you get called, somebody says, hey, can you come play guitar at my sister's daughter's best friend's wedding? They want somebody to play the reception, the rehearsal dinner, just to play some background music. And you're like, I will be there. And you take this song and nothing else, and you just play this. And they don't know, right? They don't know. It's all one piece of music from one guy. They just know it sounds nice, and that's all people want to hear from classical guitar. So mess around with it this week. Give me your thoughts as you are playing it. I will start. I wanted to mention very quickly on the website, we're moving everything from Denver Guitar Orchestra to guitarorchestra.com. However, the .com it's taken me years to get a hold of that darn thing, and I finally own it, but they won't let me transfer it till March 9th to where I need it to be. So until then, guitarorchestra.net is the main website that I'm moving all the instructional material to. And it'll eventually be guitarorchestra.com, but I wanted you to know that that's going on. The .com part is working sometimes and not other times, and I don't have any control over that. But the .net is working perfectly because it is where it's supposed to be. So anyway, we'll be moving this stuff over there. So if there's a little confusion as to where you're supposed to go to guitarorchestra.net and click on the guitar calendar, and that's where I will put the main stuff now, and all of the sheet music updates will end up over there. Okay, have a wonderful evening, guys. It was really fun to play with you guys. I will see you soon, and next week I may have a problem because I'm going up to Denver to conduct the Denver Guitar Orchestra, but I'll let you know. I put in some plans tomorrow is what I'm doing. I think I'm going to just play from the hotel room on Sunday night, because what else am I going to do? And so I think we're going to meet next week, but I'll let you know for sure. Have a great week, and I will see you soon. Peace.